Hey guys, so it is summer break and well, I'm trying to get relaxed here. Alright, I'm here to tell you guys that I'm sorry about not doing that Saturday stream. It does say in the next upload of this, of A Beacon of Hope, not this one, but the next one. I did say that I was going to do it this Saturday that's coming up. I don't think that's going to happen more likely, because someone that was going to join in is going out. Well, they have to stay at their house because they have a house party going on. So I'm thinking it might be somewhere around next week. We are not sure yet what to pinpoint on what day, but we'll have it. If we can't have it this month, then we'll probably have it July. I am not sure yet. So I apologize. Because I don't know if any of y'all tuned in anyways on that Saturday we were going to do the event. But I'm sorry about that. I couldn't like stay at my house because Friday I was suddenly told that we were going to our cousin's house, which is an hour away from where I live by driving. And yeah, I couldn't stay. I had no say in it, so I just stayed. I just went over there. Anyways, I am back and I'm gonna upload some more. I don't know how much though. Probably like this week I'll probably have at least like 5 uploads for the narrations, because each one are like an hour long, and it takes a lot of time and thought into like what to put for each one. Because the only thing I have to do is just add songs in, and if I need to at times, just cut down like some parts where I just get silent or someone is interrupting me. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Anyways, you're gonna be hearing a lot of one certain like song because I try to make this more dynamic in a way for the narration. Because I mean, why would I just put random music down in a narration? Why not just make it a bit more, you know, touchy-feely? I don't know, that's what I like to call it. Anyways, here is the narration. Hello, good people of the RWBY fandom. This is the Dark and Rose here. Oh my god, or just Rose for short. And I'm here with another narration for A Beacon of Hope. Holy crap! Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is actually a second take of the first chapter of this video that I'll be doing, because when I got into a Skype call on accident, and it was because my friends wanted to play with me. And I had to tell him like, oh yeah, I'm doing a narration right now, I can't really do anything. And my microphone level went up a lot. So it just kept clipping the audio, and I had to redo it. Gladly only did one chapter because that would have sucked if I did more. And yeah, well, now I'm here. This is the second take of the first chapter of this video that I'll be doing. And the other ones that I'll be doing after that one, it's pretty much blind. I mean, I didn't actually read the whole entirety of the chapter, I think. I don't know. Blech. Alright, so here we're at chapter 21. It's in Blake's POV. Where we left off, we're with Yang, and she was doing stuff, and I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to make everyone think that I don't know. No, Yang, Weiss, and Blake went to Vale, and Blake and Weiss went shopping. Yang went to go shop for ammo for Ember Celica, and apparently we got to know this person that Yang was talking to that was apparently good friends with Yang's family, and decided to throw in some extra ammo for RWBY, which is cool. And ran into Malishite, I think. Oh my god, I actually do not know, or I'm sweating here. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Yeah, it was a militia. Oh my god, I said militia. Like, what the fuck? Like, nobody heard me say that, right? Sorry, guys. It's really hot in the room I'm in, and I seriously cannot think right. So, forgive me if I say some things wrong. Holy shit, I think I should just go shirtless. Okay, enough rambling. No. Where's my cat? He was under the table. Wait, he's not there. Alright, here's chapter 21, A Ladybug in a Titan's World. This is in Blake's POV. Put on some music because Kyle Landry is the most beautiful sounding person. Kyle Landry is a pretty cool pianist, by the way. A loud yawn as I stretch out across the bench. It's been about half an hour or so since we left Vale, and I decided to try to catch up on a little more of my sleep that Weiss took away from me by waking me up so early in the morning. It's been nice and quiet so far with Yang and Weiss sharing a happy conversation for once. I've been bouncing on and off with sleep, but that's my own fault. I've grown used to Yang's aura seeping into my skin that it becomes a task to sleep without it. Although I was barely sleeping without to begin with. I closed my eyes once more, figuring I would try to get a few more minutes of sleep before you arrive. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and with a fright, I jump off of Yang's lap, looking at the blonde brawler with annoyance. Although she appears to be elated beyond recognition and not noticing my stare, which she is usually able to sense. This is awesome! Team Coffee is out on a mission with Professor Jesus fucking Christ. Professor Port, Yang shouts, fist pumping and hissing out several yeses underneath her breath. And what is so great about that? I ask, leaning forward to look around Yang and to Weiss, who is much more relaxed about this. With Team Coffee out, Yang and I can now use today to alter the mess they made of the prom. It will most likely take the entire day, but we will be able to fix the inconsistencies that hipster Coco managed to sneak in from my absence during the last meeting. Such as, she wanted to serve coffee instead of punch, brown drapes instead of white, and wanted to make the event only inside instead of allowing it to be both inside the ballroom and outside on the front and back patios, claiming it to teach everyone to share space. Yeah, if that happened, I would have slept on the roof the whole night, I comment, realizing the blessing to have Team Coffee out of Beacon. I pause a moment and think, realizing that Weiss has been more excited about this prom than Yang, yet hasn't shed a single sign of excitement. I keep my eye on Weiss for a moment, who is now looking down her scroll. I stand up, looking at the reflection of the window behind us to make out the image in the scroll just barely as RWBY. Just one more day, Weiss. From 5 p.m. and throughout the night, it will be a fit time to give RWBY that gift of yours. Damn it, now that I think about it, I was supposed to be spending the day with Yang for some sparring. Guess I'll try to find something to do with RWBY. That reminds me, Blake. Oh wait, that reminds me. Blake? Why, I snap to Yang the moment I hear my name called. Remember that little orb thingy you showed me on your scroll like last week? It was like the size of an apple. Yes, Yang, and it's a compact high-definition projector that connects to our scrolls through a micro USB to HDMI plug-in to create a crystal clear projection on any flat surface. It's completely glare resistant too, so it can be used in almost complete daylight. Yang raises an eyebrow at me, clearly not understanding a word I said. By the way, that silence was because it was just ellipses, just silence. It's a portable big screen TV for our scrolls, I simplify, rolling my eyes at her inability to understand even the slightest amounts of tech talk. RWBY was an extreme weapon nut, and I have spent a bit of time with her explaining Gamble Shroud, and she explaining Crescent Rose. While she is an expert with weaponry, I am about moderate. However, when it comes to technology, it is vice versa with me teaching RWBY about it. Okay, well, since you wanted it so much, I figured I'd give it to you during prom and all. But I just realized that then you wouldn't have to stay at prom and would just hide yourself in the room to watch cartoons all night long. Anime, I correct, not realizing entirely what Yang said until a second after. Wait, you got me that? Yang, that's nearly 800 yen. 750 to be exact. How could you even afford that? Plus, you don't even have a credit card. Actually, Weiss cuts in, she paid me in cash and I purchased it for her. But how did... I competed in the pit last month, and I haven't spent that much of the prize money. There's another match I signed up for in 2 weeks, and the prize is even bigger, Yang answers, already knowing my question. Anyway, go in the room, and on the very bottom of my drawer, you will find it in a black box. Should I even ask which drawer? The one that you never go into under normal circumstances. Great. It's in her damn panty drawer. Well... hopefully RWBY's still in the room. She can get it for me. No! Yang yells, quickly placing her hands on my shoulders and staring at me with wide eyes. Blake, if RWBY goes into that drawer, she will never look at me the same. It's just your panty drawer, Yang, I say while raising an eyebrow at the strange behavior of Yang. I have a few things on the bottom of that drawer that I'd rather not mention. Look, Just go into the front right side of the drawer and the box is right there. I swear. You won't see anything if you go right for that corner. I won't even ask. I stand up, taking the bag of scrunchies and the case of Weiss's dust cartridges in each hand and begin to walk for the door of the airship that has just finished docking. Wait, why are you taking those? The Yang asks while I keep walking. I might as well, since you two need to do your work on that party. And what about RWBY's gift? If Blake takes RWBY's gift with her, then RWBY will surely get curious and open it, Yang. I says with her, could you have asked anything more retarded tone? Oh. Well, good luck with RWBY, Blake. At least you two can watch some cartoons together. Anime! I scream at the seated blonde girl before exiting the ship and making my way to the dorm room. I hope RWBY hasn't missed Weiss too much. After arriving at the dorm room, I carefully banged the edge of Weiss's briefcase against the door 3 times. Those sound effects are real. RWBY, it's Blake. You there? I hear some movement within the room, and after a bit of fumbling about, RWBY finally opens the door. The disappointed look on her face when only I entered the room could be telegraphed for miles. I huff and clear my throat, doing my best to imitate RWBY's voice. Hey Blake, how was your morning? Oh, it was just fine, RWBY. Thank you for asking. I respond to myself in my normal tone. Sorry, Blake. RWBY sighs, walking up behind me and hugging me from the waist. It's fine, little red. Look, Yang got me a gift. It's a projector so we can watch some anime. I'm sure it'll cheer you up. I'm not in the mood to watch anime, Blake. I miss Weiss. I watch RWBY lay down on Weiss's bed and bury her face into the Aris's pillow. I take the moment to put the bag of scrunchies on Weiss's desk and a suitcase of dust under the bed. You sure you don't want to, RWBY? The main characters use some awesome gear to swing around the air and fight these gigantic humanoid creatures with nothing but air-powered gear and 2 swords. Sounds awesome, Blake, but I don't wanna. One of the main characters gets twin tails. At that mention, RWBY is looking at me with semi-pleading eyes. I can't help but smile while admiring RWBY's admiration for such a simple hairstyle and give a nod in my head. Let me get the projector, I whisper. Going to my bed and climbing over it to get to the other side where Yang's dresser is, I open the top drawer, not daring to look inside in fear that Yang's unmentionable items may be in sight. I follow the right edge of the drawer, reaching to the corner until I feel a palm-sized box and quickly pull it out while closing the drawer. I look at the little black box, opening it up and looking at the small orb that's about the size of a large orange. Oh, that was an apple. I carefully roll it in my hand, finding the HDMI slot, the clear plastic, and that must be the projector lens, several slits which must act as a surround sound, and finally a suction cup at the bottom to stick it to any surface. Alright, RWBY, let's see how we can get this set up. I need to get this and my scroll on the ceiling somewhere. Or you can stick it to the bottom of Yang's bed and have it project on the wall, and we can sit on your bed to watch. Good idea. But this thing is too good for that. The space between the wall and Yang's bed is too small. Let's get this to look like a big screen. RWBY and I debate on what to do, eventually deciding to set the projector and my scroll near the window on top of my bookshelf, close to the shades of the room, and project the images onto the wall and door, since the door didn't have any ridges and the surface was completely flat. As I mess with my scroll to find the anime I mentioned earlier, RWBY decides to question me on what it is. So, what is the name of it, Blake? Of what? The anime! Oh my god, I didn't even read this part. Oh, it's called Oh man, fucking damn it. I hate whenever I have to say Japanese names. Not that I get it wrong a lot, but sometimes I do. Oh, it's called Shingeki no Kyojin. Just call it Attack on Titan. Wow, Attack on Titan. RWBY gives a nod of her head, waiting patiently for me to find a good website to stream it off of. As I get it up and running, I lay down on my side with RWBY laying the same way right in front of me and pressing herself against me just slightly. Hopefully it's off a Crunchyroll, but that's just me. Man. I watch stuff off of Crunchyroll, by the way. Sometimes other websites, but that's it. It's just Crunchyroll. We always laid like this when we watch anime. It was like our version of bonding. Spoiler in this paragraph. Aww. But yeah, I just said the warning, but that's alright. If you guys are actually watching the show, I mean, there's no way to skip this, so you might as well just watch like the first few episodes of this damn show. That's actually a pretty good show. I haven't seen it though, so I don't care about the spoilers because I don't think I'll ever watch it. I smile as the familiar opening starts. RWBY getting entranced immediately with the determined and rebellious Eren Yeager, the scary yet badass Mikasa Ackerman, and the timid Armin Arlet. It didn't occur to me that the first episode may be a bit too much for RWBY, especially with the beginning showing the death of Eren's mother, reminding RWBY of her own. Great. Showing mother's death. I saw the abridged episode of this and it was hilarious as hell. I wrap an arm around RWBY's waist, holding Little Red closer to me during the sad closing minutes of the first episode, and after that she starts to fall in love with it all. Becoming depressed when Mikasa cuts her hair, but becoming elated to see the twin tails I promised in the later episodes after and during their training. I begin laughing after RWBY somehow memorizes the song after only 4 episodes, even managing to mimic the German lyrics perfectly. You know what? I'm sorry, but I'm not even gonna. I don't even know the damn theme, and I don't even want to try it. Sorry, guys. That's not. There's gonna be times where I have to skip one snippet of dialogue, and I'm sorry. I have to. I put my arm for RWBY's waist and quickly cover my mouth during the start of each episode onward. She gets so into singing along, singing her head back and forth to the metronome of the beat. I do, however, begin to feel bad when RWBY sees the badassery of Annie Leonhardt and hopes that Annie gets more screen time as a badass Titan killer. The irony is too great. RWBY and I managed to kill several hours of the day, wasting away hours of our lives to SNK. However, at the end of episode 13, which is the halfway mark, RWBY asked me a surprising question. Blake, does Weiss hate me? Huh? Why would you even think that? I gently nudged RWBY away so I could turn her around to face me while we speak. Ah, damn it, fucking mosquito. Well, she's been slowly spending less time with me the past 3 days, and I haven't even seen her today, or gotten a text from her aside from the one she left me this morning. RWBY looks towards the carpeted floor and lets out an audible exhale from her nose. RWBY, Weiss is head over heels for you, trust me. Even on the airship ride back to Beacon, I saw her staring at a picture of you on her scroll. She had to take care of final preparations on the dance with Yang, which is the only reason why she is not here right now smothering you with kisses. Believe me when I say that Weiss is a lost puppy without you. RWBY giggles, hearing my last words. You sound like Yang when you say that. Yang calls me the lost puppy instead. Now it's my turn to laugh, giving RWBY's crimson-tipped hair a ruffle. We return to watching the anime, RWBY becoming shocked at every plot twist and introduction to even more characters, especially everyone's favorite germaphobe. I love watching anime with RWBY. She always enjoys it and has the most exaggerated reactions to every little plot twist. Unfortunately, we don't get to finish, only making it to episode 20 when Yang and Weiss open the door, making me quickly pause the video and turn off the projector that is blinding them in the doorway. As Weiss walks in, RWBY runs over, pouncing her girlfriend to the floor and saying, "I missed you," at a speed to rival her semblance. While RWBY is distracted, Yang walks in with the gift in hand and tosses it over to me. I look over at the romancing couple on the floor before standing up and hiding the box between my bed and my dresser. Weiss hugging RWBY tight and looking over the hyper-leader's shoulder to watch me as I stashed away. "I missed you too, RWBY. Now let me get up, you dolt. You're heavier than you look," Weiss says, unwilling to stop smiling and giggling to RWBY's affection. "No, you left me alone all day and I'm not letting you go," RWBY cries out, rejecting Weiss's demand, which was pretty gutsy for the crimsonness. Even Yang was cracking a smile at the R&W of the team while she walked over to my bookshelf and took a gaze at my scroll. "Ooh, Attack on Titan," Yang says with a grin. "You actually watch anime, Yang? Yet you keep calling it cartoons?" I ask with annoyance. Just like to mess with you. Plus, Attack on Titan is pretty mainstream." "Ooh, did you get to the part when any spoiler alert?" I quickly screamed before Yang could continue, giving the blonde the clue that we aren't at the part she is referring to yet. "They are in the forest still running," I state simply, Yang nodding her head. "Anyway," I begin, grabbing Yang's wrist and taking my scroll from her while making my way to the door with a taller woman in tow. "Let's get some dinner since it's already 6:30. I'm sure RWBY and Weiss will catch up." Yang is reluctant to leave, but at the mention that her bet is still in effect, she sighs and leaves the room. Yang is a woman of her word and has held up the bet so far. Before I close the door, I look at the two girls with both of them nodding their thanks to me. And with that, I close the dorm room door, I guess, leaving the two lovesick puppies alone for what will only be about half an hour with how fast Yang will be chowing down her dinner, just so she can get back and swat the two of them. Oh man, I don't know if that sounded good, guys. I'm sorry. There's my negativity again. It's not cool. You can't be negative. Alright. This is chapter 22. Happy anniversary. Okay, don't even talk. Don't even narrate in that voice, bros. Jesus Christ. By the way, if you're wondering why I keep saying Jesus Christ instead of Jesus Christ, well, I got into saying that after saying it so many times. So, yeah. Anyways, this is in Weiss's POV. It's been hectic the past 3 days, to say the least. With all the online searching I've been doing, on top of mending the damages done to the prom by tea and coffee. However, everything is finally back to how it should be. Last night, Ruby refused to release me, even going to the extent to hug me from behind while we walked to the cafeteria, after my rants finally made her realize I was very hungry and needed something to put into my stomach. I went the entire day without food and was not able to skip out on dinner. That would be by far one of the unhealthiest choices of my life. Eating dinner turned out to be a task in itself. Ruby made the mistake of sitting to my left, making it impossible for me to use my left arm to eat while she rested her head on my shoulder with a look of elation upon that innocent face of hers. I would have snapped if it weren't for the looks of adoration that Yang and Blake were giving our team leader, making me realize that Ruby was only making up for affections the past 3 days. I suppose it bothered me much less being away from each other, since I was being productive and constantly moving to get gifts for Ruby and, of course, my overstocking of scrunchies. When it came to sleep, Ruby refused to let go of me still. I played along with her game and brushed my teeth with her still hugging me. However, upon me walking to my bed, I expected her to release me, and that was not the case. "Ruby Rose, your sister will kill me if you attempt to sleep in my bed," I told her. "I told you I'm not letting go," she scolded back at me. Sorry, kitty. Eventually, Blake and Yang returned to the room, looking at the two of us while I explained the situation. The two girls laughed at Ruby's determination to not let me go and eventually compromised the situation. I let out a soft yawn as I awake from my slumber. I look across the room to Blake and Yang, who are sleeping on their respective beds. I squint and look around, waiting for my vision to sharpen when I catch sight of the digital clock in the room and wait for the blurry red streaks to sharpen so I can see exactly what time it is. It's only 9:30 in the morning. For a Sunday, that is far too early for any of us to be awake. But thanks to Ruby's antics last night and the shopping trip to Vale that also took place yesterday, I was unable to stay awake anywhere past 10 o'clock. I reached down to my white blanket, pulling the soft material off of me and tossing it over my shoulder. At the same time, I hear an audible groan, figuring Ruby must be getting herself awake from her own slumber above me. As I slide my legs off the bed and begin to move my upper body so I can sit up, there was a clenching around my ribs, a clenching that hurt painfully so. I look down to see a pair of pale arms holding on to me, and when I look over my shoulder, I can see Ruby is there, still wearing her casual outfit. That's right. Yang decided to allow it just this once. Even I was surprised at that, but I guess she trusts me somewhat, or probably was awake half the night watching us. I reached down to pry Ruby's arms off of me, but her grip is so firm and unbreakable. I can't believe that even in her sleep, this little huntress was able to maintain a death grip on me that rivaled one of her sister's hugs. "Dolt, wake up," I whisper, while laying back down and sliding my back against Ruby, mainly for the purpose of relieving the pain I feel when I try to pull away. Ruby groans out, refusing to snap out of her sleep. "Wake up, I need to use the bathroom," I lie. I want to slip out of bed while she is still asleep and make sure her gift is nice and secure. After a few more gentle complaints, I feel her grip release me, letting me slip free from the bed before she rolls over and takes my blanket with her. I sit at the edge of the bed and place my feet on the ground, rubbing my pained stomach from the vice grip I have been subjected to all night. Free at last! Free at last! Thank all of Remnant I'm free at last! I look over my shoulder to Ruby, who is already fast asleep once again. I lean over her and brush her hair from her cheek to give it a soft kiss prior to standing up and walking to Blake's bedside. I made sure to be very careful not wake up the sleeping fauness and reach between her bed and the dresser to grab the box I saw her hide yesterday, but there was nothing there. Blake put it here last night. She made sure I saw it. I look at the sleeping fauness, debating if I should wake her or not, or if I should wake Yang instead. Wait, am I seriously debating between waking up Blake or Yang? I shake my head at my own stupidity and quickly kneel down and start to gently nub Blake without a second thought. Blake, Blake! Blake! I hiss out in a low scream. I become satisfied when I see Blake's bow twitch and wiggle. I almost said giggle instead of wiggle. The girl's eyes batting open after a few failed attempts at finally locking onto me. What was? She asked with squinted eyes, both of lack of slumber and annoyance of being awoken. Where's the box? I saw you put it down right here. I gestured between the bed and the dresser, Blake's eyes following where I was pointing. Blake quickly sat up, eyes going wide in surprise at the fact that the gift we purchased yesterday was not where it was placed. Maybe Yang moved it? She asked. Possibly, but I chose to wake you up first for obvious reasons. Smart. Just give me a moment to wake her up. Blake sighs, carefully climbing onto Yang's bed slowly, her movements graceful and well balanced. I couldn't see the bed shift or hear a creak when she climbed on. Not wanting to see what may happen, I decided to sit down on Blake's bed and wait patiently, although I was still within earshot of the situation. I will move back to my bed, but I do not want to be near Ruby since I could possibly wake her up and make things much more difficult since she would want to help find the missing item. Yang, wake up, I hear Blake whisper, earning groans of anger from the blonde brother. What did you say to me? Blake growls, and then I hear a bit of shifting in the bed above, followed by louder groans. Yang, where's Weiss's package? I put it in your locker. Now let me sleep. Yang almost shouts at Blake, who reluctantly leaves the brawler alone and hops down the bed, landing in front of me in a crouched position and again not making a sound. So, my locker, it seems. Wait, I changed my locker combination. Wait a second. Wait 1 second. At that moment, Blake hops back up and heavy shakes can be heard. This time Yang forced awake by what must have been a rude awakening by Yang. How the fuck did you know my locker combination, Yang? I changed it. Blake's... Oh, seriously? Blake's tone still calm but clearly pissed as well. It's 4145, your favorite volume of Ninjas of Love. Page number you always keep bookmarked. Now let me sleep. Yang grows once more. This time Blake hops down and lands with a soft thud. Great, I need to change my locker combination again. Put on your uniform or something so we can go to my locker. I'll go on my yukata. It's decent enough to wear for the short trip. Okay, wait for me outside the room. I reach step quietly over to my bed and opening the top drawer, forgetting that it belongs to Ruby. I am in too much of a rush and decide to grab a pair of Ruby's black jogging shorts and a black t-shirt and quickly run into the bathroom and change out of my nightgown. When I come out, I see Blake is already out of the room. I walk over to my bed and kneel down to reach underneath and pull out a pair of light blue flats, sliding them on and making my way out the door, being very careful not to slam it. Blake's nowhere in the hallway, so I assume she went down to the locker room, and that's exactly where I make a beeline for. There you are, Blake says as I enter the area while she is just opening her locker, pulling out the white box in perfect condition, much to my satisfaction. Is everything there? I ask, walking over to Blake, who quickly lifts the lid off of the little gift box and nods her head. Actually, it seems Yang threw something in here as well. Blake begins to chuckle, making me nervous as to what it could be. A small paper appearing from behind the lid of the box in Blake's hand. As I approach, Blake turns the paper around to show a picture that was taken last night of Ruby cuddled against me while we slept. It shows the two of us spooned together, me in front and Ruby nestled behind me in the exact same way I woke up to find her. Her arms are wrapped firmly around my waist, and you could just barely make out her pale cheek and lidded eye from over my shoulder. I take the picture, look closer at it, and admire it a bit more before handing it back to Blake, who doesn't take it. There were two in here, Weiss. I guess that one's yours, Blake says while closing the box, making sure the lid is placed perfectly over to keep Ruby's gift secure. That barbarian, I whispered, looking at the picture while fighting back a tear. Well, should we get going back to the dorm? Blake asked, standing up to close her locker prior to taking the gift in her arms. Yeah, I'll give Ruby her gift when she wakes up. I stand up and follow Blake out of the locker room to head back to our dorm. Upon arrival, I take the gift from Blake so she can open the door with her scroll. Thankfully, she remembered it since I completely forgot to bring mine with me. When I walk in, I see that both Yang and Ruby are still sleeping, and the time on the digital clock reads 10 a.m. I give a nod to Blake, who goes back to lay in her own bed and sleep. I go to sit in mine, gazing over my shoulder at Ruby, who is still sleeping soundly. I reach to my dresser and grab my scroll and begin to find things to do to occupy my time while I wait. Within the hour, I go through several card games, shopping catalogs, and learn of a few extra uses for dust, such as using blue dust crystals as a preservative for long periods of time, which is rather practical. Even with myself being the heiress to the largest dust company in the world, there are people out there who find new uses for it every day, whether it be as a cheaper replacement or something slightly more effective through tinkering. I look at the top corner of my scroll, seeing it is now about 10:15. Now Yang is getting up out of bed. I look across the room at the muscle of Team RWBY while she stretches in bed. Yang was in her yellow tank top that did well to flaunt her toned arms to the fullest. Somewhere deep in the back of my mind, I had to admit that Yang does have an attractive form, but an atrocious attitude, and the malcontent she puts into her body in the form of energy drinks and alcohol make me wonder just how she was able to maintain herself. Yang soon finishes her stretches in bed and climbs down. She looks across the room at me and smiles. She must have also noticed RWBY is still asleep, since she did not yell across the room to me like she usually does. "Got the pics, I take it?" she whispers after kneeling in front of me, eyeing the box in my lap. "I did. Thank you, Yang. It was very considerate and thoughtful of you, to say the least." I crack a small smile and reach an arm out to give Yang a small hug. Unfortunately, it is returned with a back-cracking force. "Oops, sorry." Yang chuckles, giving my back a small pat. The two of us must have made a little too much noise, because I can hear some rustling going on behind me. RWBY is waking up. I'll go back on my bed and watch the show. "You picked out a perfect gift, by the way," Yang whispers and makes a half jog to her bed. Blake, now awake, thinks of Yang's foot banging and realizing why Yang was rushing back to bed. I place the box down on the bed and return to face my waking girlfriend, resting my left leg on the bed, but still having my right foot on the floor. "Finally awake, though?" I ask, doing my best to conceal my excitement and keep my stern business tone in use. "Very," RWBY grows out. I almost said Yang. While she stretches out on my bed and starts kicking her feet to get the covers off of her. God, she is so adorable. At least one of us did. If you were hugging me any tighter, I would have had bruised ribs. Of course I was lying when I said that, but I figured getting her a little down it would make it that much better when she opens her gift up. That's your fault for leaving me alone so much. Why did you keep avoiding me anyway the past 3 or 4 days? Or however long it's been, RWBY shouts, snapping out of her sleepy state after my attempted guilt trip. Even with her yelling, she is still laying down with her eyes closed. I had a perfectly good explanation for that. Damn it! I had a perfectly good explanation for that. I will have you know, I retort. I respond, making RWBY sit up and look at me with squinted eyes, bordered between mild anger and annoyance. She couldn't hold a grudge against anybody, but she was able to show brief moments of anger. "And what would that be, princess?" she asked while leaning forward to give me a soft peck on the cheek, her cheery smile covering her face when she pulls back. "Damn it, RWBY, your morning breath is terrible." Well, I allowed my eyes to trail away from RWBY and gazed out of the box. Soon enough, the little brunette following my gaze and seeing the box, her eyes lighting up as she finally notices a rather large box on the bed. "We make a week today. Happy anniversary, dolt." "Weiss, you didn't. I wanted to. Now are you going to just sit there, or are you going to open it and see what I got for you?" See what I got you. I mean, jeez fucking Christ. I keep modifying the sentence. "Of course I'm going to open it, silly." I smile as RWBY pulls open the box into her lap and lifts the lid off, hiding the contents from me, but the look on her face says it all. Her lips are parted and her eyes wide. I can see her eyes go from pure elation to tear-stricken happiness. "Weiss, you got me the pictures your sister's doing, actually. But what about the other two?" "Both me, with Blake being my second opinion." "Weiss, I can't believe that you got me a..." "Just shut up and kiss her already, RWBY." I hear Yang yell from across the room, making both of us blush and Blake giggle. Alright. That was actually pretty... That was pretty nice. Alright, so... Here is chapter 23, From an Ice Flower to a White Rose. Oh, wait, hold on. Just you fucking get on iTunes right now. So I have some music, because I don't want it to be too quiet in here. I'm actually glad there's no one in the house right now. I could have just blasted my speakers, but I'm narrating, so... Yeah. Alright. This is in Ruby's POV. My eyes shift between the three gifts sitting on red padding within the white box. I look over to Weiss, her figure becoming blurry in my view thanks to the several tears I begin to shed. Weiss, you got me. The picture is your sister's doing, actually. She cuts me off. I look down at the box and lift the picture out to look at it. Gang must have taken it with her scroll and printed it out somewhere. I bet she plans on keeping the copy in her phone to blackmail Weiss at some point. I know her well. But what about the other two? I ask, looking back down to gaze at them, but swiftly switch my glare back at my girlfriend. Both of me, with Blake being my second opinion. You knew to get me this? Weiss, you really do know me well. Weiss, I can't believe that you got me a... Just shut up and kiss already, Ruby. I hear my sister yell at me. My cheeks turn red while I wipe my eyes and look off in the distance to my sister laying in her bed, on her side with her head propped up in her hand. Blake in a similar fashion below, who is also giggling at Gang's comment. I look back down at what was brought for me. They must have cost a fortune. I gently reach down and pick up the first gift. A high optic scope from my crescent rose. I slowly twirled the large cone-like shape in my hand, admiring the sturdy craftsmanship of it that could be no less than top of the line, considering the person who bought it. As I rotated and looked at the top side, my heart melted at the sight. Painted perfectly in black is a giant snowflake, and more specifically, Weiss's emblem. My hands begin to shake as I hold the item in my hand. It's a little heavy for a sniper scope, but I have modified Crescent Rose so many times that a slight weight change will never bother me. I decide to look through the scope itself now, even more surprised to see Weiss's emblem within the scope, and more importantly acting as the crosshairs. The several lines of the snowflake that intersect in the middle made it a perfect marker for a target, though there were many more items within the scope, and as I held it to my eye, my thumb dragged along a small ruler that I did not see before. As I moved the small knob, I turned to look across the room with it, watching as the sight of Blake's amber eyes becomes larger until I can no longer see the amber ring, but only the black of the center of her eye. It has variable zoom! This is great! I cry out in glee. I become more comfortable with holding the scope, my fingers shifting to different spots of the scope while I continue to look through it, and yet another surprise takes me. Along the right side of the barrel of the scope there are 3 buttons. I press the first one, seeing 3 horizontal lines appear on the scope, and 1 vertical line that slices from the center of the scope to where the snowflake is and goes straight down. The 3 horizontal lines having small numbers next to them, labeled from top to bottom in this order: 500, 1000, 1500. They were there to label the bullet drop of Crescent Rose, something I already memorized, but it was good to have it for reference. I played with the zoom function a little more and gasped when the numbers started to change according to how far I am zoomed in or out. I am far more eager to find out what the other buttons do. I press the first button again to make the extra designs disappear and quickly press the second. At this very top of the scope, I can make out several altering numbers. As I look around, they constantly change, and the 2-lettered abbreviation next to it doesn't help explain what that number is at all. Weiss, what's 0.6 mph se 0.01 m/500 m mean? I ask while slowly lowering the scope and facing my girlfriend, who is giggling at my question. Had a feeling you wouldn't know. The number for mph just tells you the current wind speed and direction, which is miles per hour, I guess. SC of course means southeast. The 0.1 meters into fucker. 0.1 m/500 m is telling you that every 500 meters your bullet will be moved. 0.1 meters southeast because of the wind. You have a talent for telling distances, so I thought you would be able to use that since you're terrible at math. My jaw drops at Weiss's explanation. This gift was perfect in every way. I begin to lift the scope up to my eye again, dragging my middle finger over the 3rd button, but before I can press it, Weiss snatches it from my hand and waves her finger in a no motion. She turns the barrel to show me the other side and a small switch that slides forward and backwards. The label at the front is IR and the label at the back is NV. That button triggers infrared to track heat signatures, and the other is night vision, which it is currently set to, and if you press that button it would have easily blinded you. Knowing this, I had a safety measure installed just for that. For that button to work, it must be held for approximately 3 seconds. I doubt you will be needing to switch the settings in the heat of battle, so I figured that delay would be no trouble. Weiss. I love it, I say while taking the scope back and placing it into the box. I will definitely be putting it on Crescent Rose next time I go get out my sweetheart from her home within my locker. I'm glad, but you haven't given your other gift a glance. Should I return it? She raises an eyebrow at me. I almost thought she was serious when she said that. No, you dummy! I shout and reach behind me for Weiss's pillow and throwing it at the heiress's head. The soft poof sound of the impact causing a pair of laughs that tore up from across the room. I quickly reach down and lift the piece of jewelry out. It's a large silver necklace with Weiss's emblem hanging from the bottom. Fuck, I was gonna use that for red snowflakes. You guys didn't hear that. For those of you that read red snowflakes, you do not just hear that. You do not just hear that. That's all I'm gonna say. It shines at every angle, even in the dimmest of light, and it was Weiss's way of telling the world that I was hers. I couldn't be happier. Dolt, she whispers after pulling the pillow off of her face. I did get you one more thing, but it wasn't anything pricey, so I decided not to put it in there. You got me something else? I ask, tears taking over my eyes again while I try to open the tiny hook of the necklace so I could put it on. Why these things were made so friggin' small? I will never know. Yes, I did, Weiss says, standing up and sitting next to me. She quickly opens the hook and places it around my neck with ease. Such a show off. Man, I had to hold a burp. Oh, wow, I was gonna burp. Afterwards, she goes into the box and lifts the red padding from the bottom to show what it looks like a giant sticker with a cutout on it. Yeah, there was supposed to be like but I guess he forgot. She grabs it by the edges and pushes it together to make the odd fabric shrink, and when she tugs it, then it expands, along with the letters in it. It's so you can place it on your weapon and spray paint the words onto it, she explains to me. It's nothing fancy, but you can tug the edges apart, stretch out the words, and adjust it to any size you need. Just thinking of the price of that material made me shiver. Yet Weiss was claiming it to be not so expensive. She is really just showing off now. So what do the words say? I can't see it. I began bouncing on the bed, a smile crossing Weiss's lips. I figured since you will now be the greatest marksman in Vale, that this will be perfect for you. Weiss holds out the sticker to me, allowing me to read the cutout words out loud. The last thing you never see, I read, starting to smile and giggle at how awesome that sounds. It will become very accurate, just like you. Weiss! I cry out, pouncing onto my girlfriend, sending two of us off the bed and onto the floor. Ugh, you dolt? That hurt. Could have just... Weiss starts to complain about a car off with a sudden kiss. I could kiss it better too, I whisper at a blushing Weiss. Words cannot explain how happy I am right now, but deep in the back of my mind, I feel sadness forming. A realization that I am going out with a woman 2 years older than me. Someone far more mature and has no problems financially. She is caring in every way, excels at academics, and is far more capable of being away from me for a little while, as compared to myself, who was called a lovesick puppy by Yang several times over. Weiss is amazing in every way, even though she is a bit distant. Even with that, I still grow more affectionate with her. Her boredom during Port's class, her obsession with looking 100% every single day, how cold her body is, and the way her fingers caress my cheeks when we kiss. And the way she kisses me in general are just out of this world. But what happens if I can't return all of her affections? I'm only 16, middle class at best, and I'm sure she worries at what may happen when it gets out that Weiss Schnee, heiress to the Schnee Dust Company, is going out with someone of low social standings. I don't want to lose Weiss. I refuse to lose Weiss. I'll show her today that I'm perfect for her. I need to. Ruby? I shake my head, working myself out of my daze and smiling down at Weiss. I must have spaced out for a minute or two. Huh? I respond, still trying to resettle myself back in reality. You just totally zoned out on me. Yang is in the bathroom brushing her hair and Blake took off to go get breakfast. What happened? She asked me while sitting up, making me kneel over her lap. Nothing, princess. Just can't express how much I like these gifts. I mean, I could never afford even one of these things, and you have no idea how you will match it. Weiss interrupts, my eyes widening out how easy she was able to read my thoughts. I turn my head away and give a small nod. a sigh echoing in my ear from Weiss's disapproval of my answer. Ruby, I don't expect you to. It's impossible to, is actually a better way to say it. As a matter of fact, your reaction is one of the reasons I know that you care for me. I turn my head to look at Weiss, confusion written on my face, but she smiles nonetheless. I don't follow, I answer, deciding to shift off of my knees and carefully sit in Weiss's lap while still facing my heiress. I place my hands on her shoulders and wrap my legs around her waist, bringing our bodies closer but not pressed together. I shiver when her cold fingers brush over my waist and slide into my shirt to rest at my hips. You don't just accept gifts from me, Ruby. You want to find ways to surpass them and give me the same value in return. You want to surpass what you are capable of doing to make me happy. You're completely selfless and you look at me as Weiss Schnee, not as a rich heiress, which is more than I could say for the several suitors my father has tried to set me up with. I clench onto her shoulders at the mention of suitors. The thought of some snobby rich kid coming near my Weiss began to eat away in my heart. She's my princess, and nobody else will take her from me. Well, you don't need to worry about that anymore, Weiss. After all, you're here in Beacon, and have all of us to look after you, I whisper. I apply a gentle kiss on her cheek, trying to up the mood of the conversation a little. And I value that to no end, Ruby, Weiss answers, tugging me in for a hug before gently sliding me from her lap so she can stand up. Yang, Blake never takes long to eat, so I'm going to need that bathroom for about 10 minutes when she gets back, Weiss shouts to the locked door. I watch her as she sits down in her bed and begins to undo her French braid. I walk over and seat myself next to her with a smile on my face. Doing your hair up differently for the dance? Of course. With my outfit, I doubt it will be sufficient to go with the hairstyle I use on a daily basis. Well, there's not much I can do with my hair. Just give it a little more brushing, I guess. Actually, I shout and stand up to dash out the door and begin banging on the door to Team Juniper's room. Just a minute! I can hear Nora's voice call out. Shit. But it is Ren who opens the door with his pink eyes observing me a moment prior to step aside and allow me in. The moment I enter, I fall onto the floor and start dying of laughter at the sight I am put subject to. John trying on a dress. I heard from Yang what happened with the bet, but I was not expecting Pierre to really be focused on assisting Yang with the torture. Pierre was very into it and tracing around John, checking every part of the outfit to make sure it fit perfectly. It was a white, strapless dress with a frilly skirt that goes down to his knees, and to bring it together was a light blue sash that went around his waist. It was pretty nice looking, but it was the last thing I'd ever expect to see John wearing. Yeah, laugh it up, crater face. John snaps at me with an annoyed touch to his voice on top of what he would call soul-crushing regret. Sorry, but from Vomit Boy to this? I try to hold my breath to choke away my laughter, but soon it takes over again and begin rolling on the floor, clenching my pained ribs from laughing so hard. Okay, I'm better. Actually, I came here for Nora, I say while standing up. Pancakes! I hear a shout coming from the bathroom door with Nora's head popping out from it. No pancakes. I just need you to wash a belt for me with your famous Nora cycle. Can I bring it to you in like 5 minutes? Nora gives a quick nod and disappears back behind the door. Ruby, need I remind you that Nora's cycle will turn whatever you give her completely white? Ren says while moving to stand next to me. That's exactly what I want. Oh, and do you have any white hair dye I can use? I want to paint my tips white for the dance, to go with the sash. I'm going with a different color scheme to go with the gift Weiss gave you? How did you know Weiss got me a gift? I ask, looking at Ren with squinted eyes. I saw the necklace on you when I answered the door, Ruby. It's pretty bright and hard to miss, he adds. Anyway, I'm guessing you want to sneak the sash over here while Weiss is unaware, so I will give you my scroll to get into the room and leave it here for Nora if you can't get it here right away. That's nice of you, Ren, but I don't want you to be locked out of the room. I begin scratching the back of my head. Do you think I'd go anywhere without Nora being far behind? She always has her scroll. No worries. He smiles at me and reaches into the pocket of his green shirt, pulling out his scroll and handing it to me. I give Ren my thanks and quickly leave the room. When I go back into my team's dorm, Weiss is down taking out French braid, and Blake is back, laying down on her bed and surprisingly not reading. Nice of you to come back, Ruby. What was that certain burst of speed for? Weiss asks me while she takes out the final braid and gives a wild shake of her head, allowing her hair to spread out gently, spread out and gently fall down her back and over her shoulders. She had such an innocent look with her hair down. Oh, just want to see if Pyrrha could find something to do with my hair. No luck, answer. Going back to sit next to Weiss. You don't need to do anything special, RWBY. You're flawless just as you are. Just as you are, I mean. Weiss smiles at me, running a hand over my cheek. I close my eyes and trap the hand between my cheek and my shoulder, nuzzling into it with a smile on my face. Thanks, Your Majesty, I joke, looking up at Weiss, who shakes her head but still smiles. Oh no, sorry, someone texted me on Skype. That makes you the royal jester, she counters, making me puff my cheeks up. I'm about to complain, but at the same time the bathroom door opens. In a flash, Weiss is on her feet and walking in with 2 light blue scrunchies on her wrists. Blake not far behind. The door closes. I am now left in a room with Yang, who straightened out her hair, but also adjusted her bangs to curl down and cover her left eye and cheek. Somewhat like that cartoon character Jessica Rabbit, but of course you could see through Yang's bangs somewhat, especially her brightly colored eyes. Fuck! I forgot. Where was Jessica Rabbit from? Shit. I'll find out in a bit. I feel like I know. I just gotta take time to remember. Wait, let me bring that to Nora now that I have the chance. Be right back, Yang. I say while running to the closet and opening up to find both my dress and Weiss's sitting next to each other. I carefully untied the large black sash that sits around the waist of the outfit and placed it over my shoulder. Last second changes, Rubes? Yang asked, watching me the entire time while she goes into the closet on the other side of the room that her and Blake shared, by the way, to get her dress out and lay it on her bed. It looked really nice, a yellow dress with spaghetti straps. The top was relatively low for most people, but for Yang it was perfect. Imagining the fit, I bet it would be showing off her cleavage, just like she liked to do. Around the waist there is a black belt, similar to mine, but it appears to be sewn in, while mine I could remove. As the outfit goes down to the skirt portion, it can be assumed that the skirt will go down to Yang's mid-thigh. That's actually pretty modest for Yang, but it is a prom, so I can understand. Yep, don't mention it, I tell my sister and dart out the room. I use the scroll Ren gave me to open the door, and upon entry I freeze. John has one hand on his hip, a slight twist to his wrist, and another hand raised in the air. He is perfectly posing like some sort of model, and I can't help but to take a quick picture with the scroll. The flash and the sound making everyone look at me and laugh, except for John, who begins blushing up a storm. Hey, get rid of that! He shouts at me. I quickly enter and close the door to avoid anyone else seeing John like this. Don't worry, it's Ren's scroll, I reassure while tossing the scroll onto the nearest, which is Pyrrha's bed. Ooh, is that what you want me to clean for you, RWBY? I look to see my right to see Nora exiting the bathroom. Mm-hmm. I want it to be as clean as your favorite shirt, I shout gleefully. A-okay. Your sash will look as clean as my shirt, Nora responds, taking the sash and hauling it over her shoulder before dashing out of the room to the laundry area, beacon. Hold on. But not before grabbing Ren and dragging her quiet pink-eyed partner along. Nora has a bad habit of using too much bleach, and with the addition of whatever other chemicals she uses, it turns anything to a snow white color. It is exactly what I want it to be done. I guess he meant A, alright. Anyway, I'll be going back to my room. Hope to see you at the dance, Pyrrha, and you as well, Miss Ark. Damn it, RWBY! John shouts at me while I run out the room and slam the door shut. I stand out in the hallway, beginning to daydream Weiss's reaction to having white tips of my hair instead of red, and the black sash changed to white instead. It will be perfect. I'm sure Weiss will love it. Her favorite color is white after all. Maybe I'll keep it white if she likes it enough. I smile to myself, proud of my idea, and go back into the room. RWBY's back, you two! Yang shouts when she sees me come in. Okay, Yang, hold her still. I can hear Blake's voice from the bathroom. Huh? What's going on? I ask. Yang walking up to me and gently wrapping her arms around me. Yeah, that was weird. Just come, I asked, Yang walking up to me and gently wrapping her arms around me. Just come sit with me, Rubes, she tells me. Although since she was already holding me, I had little to no choice. Yang carries me to Weiss's bed, sitting me down on her lap with her arms almost crushing my ribs. Yang, too tight. I groan out. She loosens her grip, but not that much. Why is it so tight? For Weiss's protection. But why would I hurt wife? Because Yang begins, but is interrupted by the sound of the bathroom door opening. Of that. I turn my head from Yang to the bathroom door, my eyes going wide when I see Weiss standing with Blake behind her. The usual confident face of my girlfriend gone and replaced by a huge blush. A nervous posture and a look in her eyes as if she was about to cry out in embarrassment. I feel as if something is different about her, but I can't tell. I squint my eyes, barely able to make the contrast of her nightgown, pale skin, and hair. But when I am able to, my jaw drops. Weiss has her hair set in two twin tails, each one going down over her shoulder in a mirror image of the other. Blade begins to twirl Weiss, letting me see how it looks from the side and spot the part in Weiss's hair in the back, along with the light blue scrunchies tightly placed. Weiss was completely symmetrical now, and I loved it. Blade turns Weiss back to face me, her face a darker shade of red than before. I thought that you would like twin tails, she stammers out and looks away. Yang, let me go! I whine. I'm trying to pry my sister's arms off of me. God, it was so stupid of me to do that. I have a deep love for twin tails, and seeing them on Weiss has just set off a bomb inside me. I begin to struggle and scratch at my sister's arms, who tightens her grip and makes me cough, forcing my efforts to stop unless I want my ribs to be crushed. Weiss will go over to you, Little Red. I just was not sure how much you was obsessed over them. Last thing I needed is Weiss going to the hospital because you used your semblance and pounced her. I suppose Blake was right. That was exactly what I had planned. Ooh, man, imagine that. It'd be like, ah, my chest! And like, her ribs are broken. Like, that's how I think it would be. When I see Weiss begin to walk over with clear bashfulness written all over her face, I begin to smile brighter and brighter. Her hands are in front of her, fingers interlaced in one of the cutest ways I've ever seen. When she becomes only 2 feet away from me, she leans down, staring at me with her soft blue eyes. I can feel sparks flying between her stare and my own. I reach up with both hands, playing with her twin tails and smiling at how soft and smooth her hair is. I love them, Weiss, I whisper, Yang's grip having calmed me down substantially, mainly because I like my ribs the shape they already were. I reach up to cup my girlfriend's cheek, her eyes softening even further in response to my touch. Really? She has, starting to smell a little bit. Almost as much as you. I finish, pulling her in to plant a gentle kiss on her lips. Although when she tries to pull back, I refuse to let her go. Her attempts to tug herself away continue, along with muffled words leaving her lips. But I don't want to hear a bit of it. I pull Weiss firmly onto my lap, snaking an arm around her waist, and the other going to the back of her neck to keep the kiss going strong. I can feel her body shaking in my embrace. I love her so much. Just as I begin to part my lips, starting to run my tongue along her soft, cool lips, I received an awkward reminder as to why Weiss was struggling to pull away from me earlier. Rubes, you're still on my lap. I gasp, letting go of Weiss, who jumps back, almost falling on the floor if Blake didn't catch her. Sorry, Yang, I cry out in complete embarrassment. I feel Yang's grip release my ribs, and I carefully stand up, looking behind me at my slowly rising sister. It's fine, Rubes. She's your girlfriend. But just don't go tongue whipping while I'm right behind you. Nothing I haven't seen before, but you're still my little sis. It's awkward. Anyway, Yang puts her hands on my shoulders and tugs me in close to whisper to my ear. I'll give you a free pass for today. Don't waste it. Wait, what? I ask while my sister stands up and begins walking away. What's that mean? You'll find out, Rubes. Don't worry. Yang reassures me, but reassures the last thing it did. I am now scared to go to prom, but when I look at Weiss sincere with twin tails, I can't help but purr at the perfect symmetry she now has. My thoughts return to their haze. I want to hold Weiss forever. I want to show her just how much I care, but I know I'll have my chance soon. I just hope it comes by soon enough. I can't wait for prom today. That was chapter 23. That took a while. Holy shit, that was like 27 minutes. Great. Internet's still jacked up. What I mean by jacked up, it's loading really, really slow. And I'm back. Alright guys, here is chapter 24. An unwise decision. Yeah. Get the pun? Unwise. Haha. Get it? Unwise, unwise. Haha. Blame George. Don't blame me. This is in Weiss's POV. I need to go put on some music. It's really quiet in here. I'm really feeling awkward. Go listen to Persona 3. No, it's fucking damn it. Yeah, this is better. Alright. Words cannot express how relieved I am after knowing that my gifts for Ruby and my adapted hairstyle for the dance have brought her so much happiness. I can't wait for the dance in all honesty. Ying and I spent the second half of yesterday making sure everything is set up perfectly. There is nothing better in my eyes than to see something come together with as much work and effort that Yang and I put into it. It's been several hours since the revealing of my twin tails to Ruby, and although she has settled down some, she has taken every chance to play with them. Whether it be to brush my hair and ensure that there is not a single tangle or split end anywhere, to tapping them with her fingers like a cat when it receives a new hanging feather toy. As of now, I am sitting on my bed and looking through my scroll to ensure that everything is taken care of. I asked for the assistance from Pyrrha to make sure all the tables were set and in order. Most likely she will be taking help from John, and I will also take the liberty of volunteering the assistance of Sun and Neptune, since John is not the most muscular of people to be assisting Pyrrha, should furniture need to be moved or more chairs gathered. Having fun, Ruby? I asked while turning my head to see the childish brunette still brushing fingers through my hair and messing around with one of my identical ponytails. Mm-hmm, she replies, somehow managing to get herself lost in that little world of hers. I will never understand how she does it. I returned my attention to the scroll, getting a message from Pyrrha that everything is going well so far. It seems everything is in place with little adjustments needing to be made with table placements and finally gathering the drinks. I look across the room to see the bathroom door open and Yang standing at the sink, fixing the rest of her outfit with assistance from the mirror above the sink, and Blake standing behind Yang, combing out the massive blonde mane one final time. Blake and Yang are both dressed, Yang sporting her yellow spaghetti strap dress with a black sash going around her midsection, Blake in her light purple dress, the solid black fabric of the dress making the outfit strapless, but over her shoulders and deltoids is a porous fishnet type of fabric that keeps her shoulders covered but still seeable. Along the right side of her outfit, going from her right thigh and down to the end of a skirt, is a cut, allowing more of her right leg to show than her left. While I look at their outfits, I begin to remember something. I am not dressed, and neither is Ruby. Ruby, I think we should start getting ready. It's roughly an hour until the starting time. Oh, I actually have to wait for Nora. She says she knows what she can do with my hair to spruce it up a little, Ruby says, no overly enthusiastic smile on her face. Ruby, you're trusting Nora of all people with your hair? Not completely. Ren will be there to avoid any disasters. Ruby ceases to play with my twin tail and stands up. I watch her as she goes into the closet and comes out with a dress draped over her forearm. I'll go see if she's there. I'll take care of everything over there and meet you at the party, Weiss. No problem. Before I can object, I see Ruby dart out the door, and within seconds is in Team Juniper's room after being greeted at the door by Ren. What am I going to do with that girl? I wanted to walk with her and all, but it seems she already made up her mind to meet me there. Oh well. I let out a soft sigh, feeling a slight emptiness filming without Ruby being nearby. Having her obsess over my new hairstyle was cute at first, then it turned to a minor annoyance to which I also found cute, and now without her here, I feel a void. I did this just for her, and I was hoping it would keep her glued to me all night, but it seems things will not work out like that. Alright, let's not dwell on it, Weiss. Let's get dressed and get moving. You need to be there early. You're co-hosting the event after all. I'll walk over to our closet to fetch my dress, which is the closet that Ruby and I use. It's somewhat familiar to Blake's being that it has the same fishnet material over the shoulders, but instead of a light purple, mine's completely white. Mine's completely white. Goddamn. And has a flowing skirt that goes down to my knees. Since Blake and Yang are still in the bathroom, I left with no choice but to dress next to my bed. To avoid having Ruby enter the room and more importantly open the door and grant anyone passing by sight of me while I'm exposed, I move myself near the wall to hide myself from sight of the doorway. Doing my best to change out of Ruby's tank top and shorts, which I am surprised she never questioned me about wearing since I rushed them on in the morning to go get my gift for her from Blake's locker and into my dress. It doesn't take me too long to get my dress and matching white flats on, but the ultimate debate to me becomes whether I should wear my earrings or not. I already planned on wearing my necklace to match the one I got for Ruby, but now that I think on it, I really don't have any earrings that will match with Ruby since she does not like jewelry that much. Ugh, how can you be so stupid, Weiss? Ruby doesn't like jewelry and one of the things you get her is a necklace? Are you dumb or something? You should know better than that. No wonder she didn't pay much attention to it. I begin scolding myself about my mess up. Or I would just say screw up, but okay. Beating myself constantly at the fact that Ruby may not have liked the gift I got her as much as she made it out to be. Before I could get any harder on myself, I snap back into reality by the voice of Yang. Weiss, come on. 20 minutes until the party. We gotta get moving. Where's Ruby? She said she'll meet us there. She's getting her hair fixed up. Yang nods at my answer and gives a shrug of her shoulders. If that's the case, then we gotta trust that she'll be there on time. Let's go! Yang shouts with overexcitement. Damn it, I keep on fumbling words. Yang reaches out and grabs me by the wrist, tugging me along out the door with Blake walking next to us. Ruby, where are you? I ask in my head, looking over my shoulder at the doors of Team Ruby and Juniper, watching as they shrink the further the three of us walk away. I let out a heavy sigh prior to facing forward and walking at pace with Yang. Alright, Yang, you can let go of my wrist now. I'm following, I whispered to her in clear annoyance, although it was a charade to hide the fact that her grip was hurting my wrist greatly. Oops, sorry Weiss, Yang says while letting go of my wrist, allowing me to move my hand and flex it to relieve the built-up tension. Just need to get you away from the room, knowing how you can be when it comes to Ruby. You would have sat there and waited for her to come back. I bet you wanted your every second at the party to be with her, huh? Damn, Yang, she is the last person I want to be able to know my thought process. Not at all. I just want to make sure her outfit is on properly. Just because there will only be Beacon students' attention and a few students who have come from the other kingdoms for the Vital Festival, it does not mean she should have a poor appearance is all. That was a downright lie. I wanted to walk in with Ruby next to me, to have her see and hopefully be impressed by the combined efforts of her sister and I. I have always praised Ruby for her amazing combat prowess and leadership skills, and today may have been the day I would have received some acknowledgement from a girlfriend that I am effective at something that is not education related, or something that I can use my family connections to achieve. And just when I thought you were moving away from the title of Ice Queen, Yang groans out, not too fond of my answer, or she knew very well that I was lying through my teeth. When we arrive at the campus building that was renovated for the prom, I look at the large clock tower that can be seen far across campus, knowing that we made it just on time for the event to start, but also that Ruby was nowhere to be found. Blake, go on ahead. Weiss and I need to take care of something. I can hear Yang dismiss Blake while I am still gazing at the clock. I get a slight startle when I feel a heavy hand land on my shoulder, and when I turn my head to see who it is, I am not surprised to see the smiling blonde. Weiss, if you keep stressing out, then what will happen when Ruby gets here? You'll be burned down and won't enjoy the evening. Look, come inside. Meet me upstairs on the overpass and we'll watch the door for Ruby, alright? I'll get you some punch. Yang gives me a wink, patting my shoulder before going through the large doorway and disappearing behind the crowd of Beacon students that will only be growing while the evening progresses. She's right, Weiss. Enjoy yourself. It's your first prom at Beacon. I take a deep breath and begin making my way inside, taking one last peek over my shoulder to see if I spot Ruby anywhere, but no luck. As I enter, I look around to see that everything has been set up perfectly. Several long, rectangular tables were set up with vast amounts of beverages and chips. There are several round tables off to the sides of the room for people to sit and chat with their friends. Straight ahead of me, I could see the upstairs balcony that grants a perfect overlook on the entire party. That is where Yang and I should be. That is where Yang and I would. Oh, okay. Where I would be should the need for an announcement arises. God damn, I made it so freaking difficult. To the left and right walls are two massive staircases that lead up to the balcony. Should someone walk straight and travel underneath the balcony and continue their way to the next room, they will eventually end up on the back patio where there are several more tables for people who require a breath of fresh air something Coco never accounted for. I turned to my right, deciding to make my way towards one of the 2 staircases and wait for Yang while I watched the door for Ruby. However, as I begin to walk, I am stopped by a familiar voice. "Hey, Snow Angel." I can hear the chilled voice of Neptune call out. I look over my shoulder. Oh, fuck. My eyes flashing over his outfit. He is wearing a white undershirt with a nice black jacket that has several orange linings on it. A shade of orange that matches well with his bow tie, and those goggles he seems to favor. "Why are you wearing those goggles on your forehead at a prom, you imbecilic?" I shake my head. My inner voice is a bit more hostile, but I'm sure it's because I just missed Ruby. I turn around, smiling at her and reaching over my shoulder to pull my twin tails out in front like they are supposed to be. "Hello, Neptune. Thank you for helping last minute. Speaking of which, where's Sun?" I ask, gazing about the room for the monkey fondness. It says money fondness, but okay. Not that I desire to see him at all. I just need to find some sort of conversation to help hold me over and kill time. Oh, he saw Blake and decided to go try to hit things off with her. Guy is head over heels for her, Neptune says with a chuckle in his voice, at the same time brushing his right hand through his sea blue hair and passing me a toothy grin. Well, I hope he gets over her soon. I honestly do not think he is Blake's type. I get a brief memory of Ruby talking to Blake that one night. The night Ruby and I noticed Blake giving a kiss on the cheek and having a hickey on her neck. Jesus Christ. Ouch. Don't need to throw him under the bus like that. It's not that. I am Blake's teammate, and after a while, I feel I could tell the type of people she would be into. Oh? And what kind of guy would Blake be into? Neptune asked with a quirk of an eyebrow. A guy with breasts, long blonde hair, short temper, and a killer right cross. I think someone a little more jovial, I suppose. Actually, that fits Yang rather well. Sun has his moments, but I guess I see what you mean. I'm sure he'll wow Blake by the time the night is over. Neptune smiles once more at me. Anyway, would you like a drink or something? I could run over and get you one. You're a week too late in your advances, Neptune. No, thank you. Yang is already getting me one. As a matter of fact, I can see her upstairs in my drink. I'll see you later, Neptune, I say to him while I'm already starting to walk to the stairs again. I make my way up the several steps and follow the banister to Yang, who is leaning against it and overlooking the entire party. Did I say it almost with a British accent? Great. The entire party with a smile on her face. She is holding 2 cups of punch, one already half empty and the other one filled almost to the brim. So how hard is Neptune trying? Yang asks without looking in my direction, and instead holds out her arm to me with a filled cup extended. I carefully take it from her hand and let out a soft giggle at her question. I didn't give him a chance, but I should be asking how hard is Sun trying. I hear he was trying to dazzle Blake before the evening is over. God damn it. I lean against the banister, facing the crowd below. I can feel a slight warmth radiate to my right, but only for a moment. It seems my comment has Yang a little jealous. Blake's not so easy to dazzle, Yang says rather bluntly, and she was right in that regard. Blake was never someone to be easily impressed by much of anything, and even Sun will have an extremely difficult time getting under the tough exterior Blake puts on the most. Yes, I suppose you're right, Yang, I whisper, taking a sip of the punch she gave me, but after I swallow, I start to cough, a slight burning sensation starting to make itself known in my throat, along with a light buzz etching into my head. Yang, did you spike your punch? Nope. I spiked the entire bowl. Oh, motherfucker, no! I can see why this chapter is called an unwise decision. Yang flashes a grin at me, before chugging the second half of her cup down without so much as a flinch. I didn't put too much, just enough that will let the first few sips put everyone in a relaxed mood. Yang, we can get in serious trouble for this, I growl. Port was supposed to supervise the event. The only person that will stop by is Ospen, and we all know that he will just pop in. See, everyone is having a nice time. Take a sip of his coffee from that mug of his, and then disappear. And how do you know that will be the case? Yang points straight ahead of us to the doorway. When I look at where she is pointed, I can see Professor Osmond sipping from the porcelain mug he carries around with him. After standing at the doorway for roughly half a minute, he turns around and disappears from her sight shortly after. See what I mean, White? See what I mean? Weiss, you need to line up. I take things day by day, and I know that's not your style. But sometimes you need to forget about everything else and live in the moment. If you keep stressing like you are, then you'll be even more stressed by the time Ruby shows up. And you will end up ruining her evening because she will not forgive herself for being late and having you in a bad mood on what is supposed to be a happy and carefree night. Do you want that? I look at Yang, who is staring at me with a serious yet softened look to the stares I am used to receiving from her. I give a shake of my head before looking forward once more. I don't want that, Yang. You know that, I whisper in a mildly defeated tone. Good. Then just relax. Finish that cup. If you want another, I will happily get you one. But I will be here to make sure nothing crazy happens, alright? Finish at least one cup. If not to calm your nerves for yourself, then do it for RWBY. I look down at the cup in my hand, swirling the liquid in it as I debate on taking another sip. Live in the moment? I don't need to live in the moment. But it's for RWBY. I don't want to get even more anxious and ruin her night when she arrives. Yang did say that she will be here for me. She's my teammate after all. I could trust her, right? After all, her and I share one important thing. We both want RWBY happy. I smiled to myself, lifting the cup to my lips to take another sip. Whether this would be a mistake I make blinded by love, or something that will draw me to enjoying the evening is still a mystery. But as the burning sensation filled my throat a second time, I could feel Yang gently patting my back and smiling towards me. Don't worry, Weiss. You and RWBY are going to have the best prom night ever. So that's chapter 24, you guys.